Hi Pisces, and welcome to your Aquarius season reading. We're already here, almost to your birthday. Happy birthday though to you February Pisces out there. Before we get into your reading, all information to work with me one-on-one is below. There is a website link, payment options, the Patreon link for these readings, and then the second part are both on Patreon as well if you'd like them emailed right directly to you. So you can take a look at that. I have a couple different offerings. I am not only tarot reader, I life coach with astrology, and then I can also do astrology natal charts, and I do Reiki as well. So as someone who has also been in the healing modalities for a long time, I've studied yoga, not just like the practice of it, but the philosophy for about 13 years now, or 13 years. And as well as dabbled in many other things. I know a lot about the body. Yeah, so take a look there if you feel inclined to. Like, subscribe, share this with someone that you feel could resonate, even if they're not a Pisces. So, yeah, let's get into it. There's a lot going on in Pisces. There's a mixture of things happening. We have a stellium happening in Pisces in the sky right now. So if you're a Pisces, there is a lot of activation. And anywhere that you may feel confused or unsure, that's funny. I wasn't even thinking about this card. 7 of Cups and 7 of Swords. 7's a huge number. We're also going to look at the numbers. So for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, things will become clearer once Neptune shifts into Aries next month. And you'll start to feel it. I think that we can begin to feel that progression before it comes, even though degrees are very exact. I understand that. But the intuition and the vibration of the planet, just like we have auras, I believe that, the planet has an aura. So the energy can start moving along in that way where you begin to see wherever has been rose-colored glasses, smoky mirrors, things don't necessarily lift right now because Venus is also in Pisces, which is a great thing, but it will also give you an abundance. So there's an abundance of Pisces risings. You will be maybe getting a lot of attention. A lot of people looking to you, looking at you, looking towards you, looking for you even. And this may allow you an opportunity to understand what it means to say yes and no. What do boundaries look like here with your interactions with others, with your love interest, with your work, that there's this similar thread going through those areas of your life right now. Although, we love an abundance, we love learning. 7, just want to mention, is a spiritual number also in a way that can be very selfless, but there's a lesson in every single number, every single sign, where it's learning to have boundaries for yourself. And as we move towards those Aries placements, because Saturn's also in your sign right now, so your day-to-day life, right? Still just going day to day, doing as much as you can to learn and do what you can day to day, not to overdo it. Again, boundaries might need to go there. That might be the common thread. But it's because it's also to do with your mental health, that everything's tied. Mental, emotional, physical, spiritual well-being, it's all tied together. But sometimes, just like when the planets are in your signs, sometimes I think certain things can tend to be more vulnerable. So if your emotional health is vulnerable, you feel easily triggered lately, even if it's like, oh my God, like I'm jealous and you want something, you're looking for bigger, you're looking for more, you're wanting to start there. Even if you're starting from 0, it's still a climb, right? So there has to be this deep understanding of the climb. The timing for everyone's climb is different, right? So it's important to realize where your mind is going and where thinking the way you once had maybe in the past only made you trip moving forward. This actually reminds me of something I've been watching a lot of, this older but it's still new reality show called The Challenge that I watched when I was younger, MTV Babies. What up? And it's like a physical, mental, emotional. It also makes me think of when you're in a challenge or you're doing something that you have to race someone or it's a competition. It reminds me of playing softball or baseball, whatever, is that you would learn not to look at the ball when you're running, just to run to beat the ball. Because if you look, it slows you down. Looking at your competition right now, anyway, there's a time and place for that. There's a time to clock it. Capricorn season could have been that time. Wait for another Earth season to roll around. Aquarius season for you is about looking forward at where you need to go, looking towards the goal, and noticing that anything that's keeping you, anything that's turning your head or turning your neck, will be a distraction this month. And it may not be like a lot of things or a lot of people, but you're gonna notice more and more what's kept you from your focus. Because the Seven of Cups, it doesn't have to just be confusion. It could be that you have a lot of dreams, but there's somewhere in your mind that's keeping you from moving forward, where maybe you don't believe in yourself enough, or you feel like nervous or scared because you're blind to it. But really what you'll see when you really get down there, and I do think this is for all of us, is that we're learning to take accountability even when we didn't know, even for all the things you didn't know until now. It's learning about taking accountability for those moments. And also when you get back down to it, you realize there's a part of you that was stopping yourself. Whether it was for your brain's protection, because it's another sword card, so the brain likes to protect, right? That's what it's meant for. So this is where you're learning from your goals to retrain your brain, basically. And that is for those of you who feel stuck or feel like you're playing small or feel like you can't expand. And it doesn't have to be, that's a lot of cards, Pisces, sorry. I'm going to reshuffle that. Let's get clear. Less cards for Pisces. And it's a great time for this because it's Aquarius season, which is a very mental sign, mentally strategic, covers its bases. So you may get taken back for some of you. Pisces risings, a lot is also happening. So first and second house is strong right now, really heavy in those areas of your life. This is about not taking you back for no reason, but it's whatever's stopping you from moving forward on an idea, on communicating the idea. So maybe you have the idea, but you don't necessarily know how to communicate that to whomever you're meant to at this time, whether you wanting a raise or a different position or wanting a different job or wanting to create something new within whatever you're doing. Maybe you're a creator and more of an artist, because for those of you who don't feel like you're an artist, you may feel more in that vibe. Like you want to innovate something, you want to be creative. So the only way to do that is to continue to do your craft. And in those, or in the mundane spaces of your life, when you're cleaning, you're doing tasks, letting your mind relax and wander and not be so focused on whatever is distracting you. The more and more you're aware of that you become, the more control you have at this time to notice what's keeping you from creating or speaking or communicating whom you're supposed to, getting ready for it, what's kept you closed off, and where you can take your power back. Ooh, the Emperor came out. These cards were first. We have Three of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles. So we're going from heavy swords to pentacles with the Empress and the Emperor. So. Self-healing, right? Communicating, revealing yourself. Even if you don't know, even if you learn that whomever you're communicating to doesn't feel mutual, if it's love and they don't feel mutual, or they've been showing signs that they're not as connected, it's time for you to understand or rethink what it is that you're looking for in a partner. Maybe that's what you actually have to communicate to them, and either they step up or they don't. But you realize like what your idea of abundance is, your idea of what, you know, being empowered or feeling powerful in your life looks like. And there's a deep sense of trust that goes in with this decision. Especially if there's a Taurus or an Aries involved at this time. You may have learned or are learning from this person to not be so attached to what was, and to, it's basically the same thing with what's happening in what I think this is work in your creative area. This, I'll read this in that way as well, but for love, because that's where my mind went first, anywhere that's been moving slow, that's for the better for the process. Because you're going to find out, if you have been with someone or you've been seeing someone for a little bit, whether they're serious or not, whether you were looking to know or not, that decision being so upfront right now and being in your mind, a lot of times it's, if that keeps coming up, it means that there's some attachment to that, but it's also about you speaking up for yourselves, you speaking up for your values. And this is making you decide that, because usually if something's happening in love, something's also happening in work, and Venus connects that in your interactions. And because it's, you know, really close to you, sun, moon, or rising right now, it's presenting to you areas that are moving from slower to faster, knowing, finding out some things. Decisions are going to be made. I would say especially as Uranus goes direct. Uranus is in Taurus right now, so, and it goes direct in February, so in the 3rd. That's when Taurus goes direct. Oh, that's actually on, that's Mars, my bad. Hold on. On the 30th, so much closer than I thought. So on January 30th, I knew it wasn't that far. I don't know why it took me there, but anyway, that'll be when there will be a lot of communication, but a lot of internal awareness that gets turned on inside of you more and more, especially with anyone in your life, job, friend, partner, you're just meeting someone, you're single. If they're all talk, you're going to find out by the 30th, because that's when things really start to move. That's when you see where and whom you may not be meant to evolve with certain people, and you're looking to move forward. You may have an idea come from a very close person in your life, whether they're like a sibling or a family member, or a friend that feels like family. We also have the 9 of Cups at the bottom, which I want to acknowledge as more of a detachment. That's more emotionally, even though like you can feel he's like in the presence of the cups, there's still, he's turned away from them, right? So in the Empress, she has a way of being not only like the boss in control, but being detached, letting go. There's also a conversation that's come up multiple times in my life where it's like, being able to grow and expand, you have to be willing to trust people. So this is always going to bring up the trust you have with yourself first. And that is also the Emperor, as well as the self-focus and what's in your mind. Empress being Taurus, which is the throat, the neck. The neck is more about your beliefs and the connection from the physical to the spiritual, to the higher. And then your throat, of course, is about speaking up for your needs in your head. And being able to voice that. You go through an experience, whether this person's all talk or not, and you're weighing things out in your life and what you're willing to do or not do anymore. You have a lot more clarity as the month moves on. So if you're caught right now, or if you're going back and forth, or anytime you begin to this month, give yourself the time. The Empress also doesn't move. She moves efficient, but you don't have to move fast. I mean, that's Venus, right? And then we have Aries, which is Mars. Mars wants to move fast, but it also can be calculated. Aries is not normally as calculated, but if your mind is clear, you can feel more strategic at this time as well. It's really important that you're able to hold your ground in your decision that you make, meaning don't settle. Don't say something and then settle for less. This is not the time to do that. This is a time to really transcend and do what's best for you. And you know it's best for you, but you also have to remember, believe that as well. So you may want to do practices, meditation, visualizations, things that you're not just creating outwardly, but there's something also going on internal. That may be a very important process. Not only that, but to speaking up your values, and notice the more that you do this, the more that you become yourself, the more that you realize where it has been that you have been holding yourself back too, and taking responsibility, the more you're able to also decipher, and make decisions from a way more empowered place. Because when you actually take accountability and integrate, North Node is also in your sign, so it's a lot of destiny stuff. This is a lot of bigger, higher, wider view of things right now. But you're also going to go through lessons, right? And that is being empowered. That is speaking up for yourself. That is learning to see things from also an ethereal perspective that integrates with your life and how it also heals you and has the opportunity to heal you. You may also find that you meet or connect with someone who you feel like they have your back this month, because you're unwilling to settle for people or situations or relationships at this point that aren't moving forward with you. You like to have a good time. Venus wants to show you a good time this month, but now you realize that it can help you amplify or bring abundance to pretty much anywhere in your life. Relationships, connections, money, love, right? And if something is really important to you, which one are you going to focus on? So that is very important. Your foundations become also very up front and center in your mind. And I would say that that's really important, because what we're talking about is foundations, how you want to set something up, like how you want to begin how you begin a relationship with someone, whether it's in business or a friendship or romance, will always set the tone for what you're building from. The nodes moving into into Pisces and Virgo is also about the codependency. So this is the mental, and then we bring it down to the physical, because it's possible that you could have been making more money somehow, and you can find out some things about money too, and you being not as valued in your life, but you feel like you're doing a lot for it. So that's where you begin to notice it's time to make decisions that really are important for you, and not focusing on anyone else around you, because you need to set the foundation there. And it's not that you don't hate people, you don't want bad blood with people. It's just simply the way you need to move right now, because you do have the power to really shift things and heal certain aspects of your life. And sometimes, and I think a lot of times, it's painful. The salt water, being in so much, like Pisces being salt water, that's your sign. It's going to sting a little. Things that you find out may sting a little, because then we're also coming up to your season. And that's why I think the mental portion of this time is really important, because even when something may feel like a loss this month, you remember how much you've learned, and that's what's very important. That's what's healing, because if you can do that, then like the saying goes, tenfold's bound to return. And you know that. You know what abundance looks like. You know what it feels like, right? The luxury. This is also the luxury of it. Very strong-willed, a lot of will towards the end of the month as well. Sorry, my nose is itchy. Anything else I want to mention? Nothing else major was mentioned. You may notice that there's healing that happens in your throat too, and your mind. Maybe you get less pressure. The more that you take the pressure off and let things out of you, especially through your voice, in ways that's, you know, like helpful, not harmful. How do you know that? Well, you learn. You learn, and you're willing to learn. You're willing to be open. That some chronic pain in those areas, not that I am a medical advisor at all, but those any pains that you could have had may start to relieve from you. You may feel relief from your face, or you may want relief in those areas. Humming is also really, really wonderful. And if you don't want to do anything, I'd say sound healing would be very helpful this month. I think it's helpful for everyone, especially water signs. Find some beneficial healing vibrations. Could be very, very helpful at this time to also like enhance if you are going to meditate or do any mindful practices. All right, Pisces. So the goal to focus on, it's like everything that came out, I kind of redirected it and showed you how it really connected. And it's important that whatever you're looking back at is helping you also move forward at this time and not causing you to trip, like you're not looking, you know, not distracting you. Because if you find that, then it might be time to ask for help, right? To be less attached or afraid or ashamed or any of the things that you feel you could feel in front of someone, but to allow them to help you progress. Or doing things in the body, learning about practices you can do, like the humming or even singing. You know, I know you're creative, so having an outlet for these, not just for before you may communicate, to help soothe your nervous system, especially going back to Uranus and Taurus. Uranus, that nervous system shake up. I would find ways, if you've been already guided, trust your intuition guiding you to the practices you may need to calm yourself, to find homeostasis in your life. I would also say that you may find a resurgence in your, if you do meet someone, especially if they're Taurus or Aries, resurgence in not only creativity, if you're thinking about having children too, this is a great time to talk about that. Pleasure, all enhanced this month. Mars retrograde, you may feel like you want to explore that area more, you want to pay attention, nurture that area more, which is very good for you. I would say that there's nothing wrong with doing a little bit of both and noticing the balance. Notice where you might go overboard, where you might, you know, becomes a vice, but where you really feel it, that it's a great time to connect with someone who you want to be intimate with too. So you may find a lot of inspiration or a lot of relaxation in that area. So have a little fun this month too. You know, you're going to be working. This is like a work hard, play hard, but it's like working personally on maintaining your grounding, but not being detached from your beliefs and what you are here to experience at this time, Pisces. So Aquarius season is I think a full-on adventure, and happy early birthday to the Pisces out there. Please take a look below if you want to work one-on-one, share this. And I'm on all social medias as well. And we'll talk to you soon. The second part will be in the first link below.